What up, YouTube? I am Juice.
And I'm Antoine Miller.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sal.
Today's topic is, I guess, who take priority? Do your spouse or your kids? Anybody want to go first?
You go first.
Well, I gotta go first.
Let's see.
Okay.
Because you never do.
What? Okay. All right. All right. To answer this question, I'm going with the spouse. 100%.
Why?
Why? Because me and the spouse are right, the kids are right. If me and the spouse ain't right, kids might not be right. Just plain simple as that.
You gotta expand upon that.
Yeah, define right.
Yeah, like
Fine, right. I mean,
Yeah.
right as in like we good to go. Like we are united.
no, define. No, give an example. Give an example of both sides of the coin.
Okay, I guess the example is if me and my wife are on good terms and everything going good, everything flowing good, whatever blessings we receive, the kids will get it too. You build a good, strong foundation to help them out, and whatever kids may be. When the spouses are struggling, it hurts the communication between the kid and the spouse, or your spouse and your kid. It's like a triangle. Somebody's not getting something, and usually the triangle is the two parents are trying to please the kid compared to the triangle as the dad and the mom lift up the son or the kid. when the foundation is shaky, everybody's fall. So that's the way I look at it. As long as me and the wife are good, everybody's good. If me and the wife bad, we on rocky ground. We don't have no stability in the household. And then you start pinning things on each other, or they start pinning the kids on each other, and it's just a mess, man. Especially if that process is get too rocky, where that the kids start feeling it. And I ain't even talking about leading to divorce and anything like that. The kids really start feeling it, because then it comes to like choosing sides and stuff like that. And usually, if the parent, whoever spend the most time with the kid, of course, the kid gonna relies with them compared to a working man always working. They'll look at them. They don't see what the father do on the outside. They only see what's going on in the inside. So that's the way I'm gonna put it. Keep it short.
Do you think it's possible to have a good relationship between the husband and wife, and the husband and wife as a unit does not get along with the kids or kid?
The husband and wife is good, but they don't get along with the kids.
Yeah, there's conflict between the husband and wife as a unit with their children or one of their child.
And the question is, you want me to do can that work?
No, is that possible?
Yeah, it's possible. That's possible.
So let me ask you this then. So you're answering it from like a relationship perspective, right? What about in terms of importance? Is it the spouse or the kids? Like it's the old, if both were hanging off a cliff, you can only save one. Who you're saving?
Really?
No.
You got more
In terms of not to death or anything like that, but in terms of the relationship, if you can only mend, like if your wife is asking you to choose between her and the kid is doing the same, maybe they're not doing it directly through their words, but their actions. Who are you repairing the relationship with? Your wife, or the kids?
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I know this is not the answer you're gonna want, but I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna double back. Sometimes if the hanging off the cliff part, the wife probably say save the kid first. right? And then get the wife. But as for resolving conflict, I would like to resolve the conflict with my wife. The plan is to resolve the conflict with my wife, and hopefully that we can see eye to eye and be on even ground. And then if it don't, then I guess typically most relationships is shoot them up, bang bang. Y'all start shooting at each other then, because I think most times there's always one person trying to save the relationship, and the other person just may be done with it and stuff. And at that point, it's mercy, you know.
You know that response, it highlights our difference and how we see the world, and how we see the present, the past, and the future.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would choose the kids. First of all, if I had to choose, not to say I want to choose, but if I absolutely had to choose, I would choose the kids. And the reason why, that's my future.
Mm-hmm.
Because from my perspective, you're asking me to choose either the present or the future. And I don't live for the now.
Mm.
So I'm like, I live for the future. So when you're thinking of the future, you have to choose your kids. But if you're thinking of the now, you're present, then yeah, it will be the spouse.
So you're pretty consistent with that viewpoint, about focusing on the future through your kids. Why do you think you're like that? What made you that way?
It's a bigger picture. I tend to look at the bigger picture, not like the now, not a small piece of the system or the process, like the overall uh, system. And if you're looking at the overall system, you've got to look at the longevity of that system, and you have to look into the future. So
So when you think of a family, you look at it as a system, moving parts.
yeah,
Everything
because
working
if
together.
you're looking at a family, you're looking at it from a point of view of the past, present, and the future. At least that's how I look at it. So I'm always thinking about, okay, how can I equip my present to play a role or contribute in the success of the future, and that's through the kids. Because if
So
I'm
I'm
not thinking
curious.
about,
Does would your wife be surprised at your response, or she?
no, no, it would surprise me if she is surprised.
So, which one would you pick?
Yeah, I'm picking my wife. And for the same reasons you stated. Like if if you're if the parents, the leaders of the family is are not in the best shape to lead because they have internal stuff going on, it's gonna affect the kids every time. And I felt like that's how I grew up. My parents weren't always on the best of terms, and parents always think that the kids don't see it, but they
Mm-hmm.
always do, and it's always going to affect them. You can make it look as pretty as you want. Kids will always see all the dirt.
Yep.
So, and then at that point, if it kind of feels like you're deceiving your kids. You know, you get all this BS going on, but you're trying to layer it like it's a rainbow when there's a bunch of dirt up under it. Like it's deceitful. So the parents always have to be strong and together for the family to survive. And I think back to I don't know if y'all heard Transformation Church with Pastor Mike, but during COVID we was watching him, and he likes to give visuals, and he was talking about parents or just people in general pouring into the next person, and he started these cups, and he poured some water into the top cup, and it overflowed and poured to the other cups. all the way down to the bottom. It looked nice, right? The cut was intact. It was strong. Everything was aligned. To Antoine DeMello's point, the system was working as intended. But then he cracked one cup, you know what I'm saying, in the middle or near the top. And no longer could that water flow from that cup down to the bottom. Everything underneath that cup was missing. Was missing water, was missing resources, was missing, love, whatever you want to call it, however you want to describe the fluid in the cup. And there's nothing you can do about it until you repair the cup, which is, yourself. So that's always stuck with me, and me and my wife do our best to try to be as cohesive as possible to make sure that we're good for our sons and our future kids.
You know what? I think most parents. Hold on 1 second. What most parents don't do enough is we might praise each other in front of each other, but we don't finish arguments and make up in front of our kids to let them know that, hey, we talked about it, we made up, everything's okay. They only see when things start off, but they never see how things finish.
Mm-hmm.
And also they have long-term jeopardy on that. Go on.
I agree with that statement. Yeah, that's a very true statement. I think I've never thought about that, but I agree. But going back to Cell, so Cell responded to that question with he would pick his wife, right? His wife. But the explanation following that, he chose the future, right? So everything you just said about your parents and you're growing up, right? As you were watching that, what did you say to yourself? As you grew up and you got older, what did you say?
You're talking about like once I realized that stuff was not right.
Yeah. What did you say for yourself and your well-being? What was the number one goal and plan?
That I don't want to copy what the same thing as them.
Exactly. You don't want to bring that environment into your marriage, your family, and also to change that for your future generations. Mm-hmm. Right? Just that simple decision, you're thinking about your future. One, because you don't want it for you when you got married, and you also don't want it for your son. So how you grew up, you don't want your son to also grow up. That is right. You looking into the future and making changes to how you see as going from a wrong to a right in your future and the future of your kids. Right? So it's like, it's not to say you hate your wife or your spouse and you're choosing, you don't hate them, but you're just being logical with it. Because when you guys die, that's it. There's still another piece of you that lives on through your kids. So you have an obligation and a responsibility to think of that. So you have an obligation to put them into a position where after you're gone, they can still carry on, and they're going to do the same for their family. So you have a responsibility to plan for that. But if you just focus on you and your wife now, and you leave them hanging, you're still going to get, whether you're around to see it or not, you're still going to bear that responsibility if it goes bad or good. Right? So in order to ensure it goes good, why not put a detailed plan in place? Now, that plan, like you can have 10 kids and all 10 kids go against your plan. That is a risk, but that is a risk with everything. So you have to put some level of effort into the future because you want your kids to contribute to the overall progression of society. I think everyone should want that.
Yeah, I mean, we want that. We just, I guess the best way to put it is we focus on our wife so we could do it together and build that future that you're talking about, but let them see how our relationship is. So to your point, when they go find their wife, they say, hey, listen, I want a marriage like my mom and dad had. and I know what that looked like. So I want to find something just like that. Not a,
So
hard-
here's the difference, right? We both want that future, but what are you willing to sacrifice for it?
there
Here we go, sacrifice.
Right?
Here we go.
So if you're saying, yeah, I want that future, but if you're faced with the choice of it's that future or because the wife would represent your present, right? The present. So is it a future or the present? Which one am I willing to sacrifice? And the way I look at it is if you're choosing the present, if you're choosing your spouse, you are sacrificing the future.
Well,
But
at this current time,
your spouse helped you get your kids to where they are now.
Yeah, I am not saying at the first sign of trouble you make a choice. I'm saying if you absolutely face with the last resort to make a choice, that's what I'm getting at.
so you basically saying that if Titanic go down, women and children first, we go down with the ship.
Nah, you put the children, and if there's room for the women, you put the women.
I'm fine on the boat with me and my wife going and a kid. All three of us going. We got to get all this thing some kind of way.
Yeah, if that's a perfect world and then everybody makes it, and yeah, but if in a not so perfect world, everyone don't make it, and you are absolutely the last person. Because if you're on, I mean, think about it. If you're on the ship, your spouse is on the ship, and the kids are not. You see what I mean? You just doomed your entire future right there. If you're on the ship, your spouse is on the ship, and the kids are not on the ship. You're doomed your entire future.
Why is that?
Huh? Yeah, I got my kids now on the ship, so they still all right.
Yeah, to your point, to your logic,
we're talking about the lifeboat here. You know what I'm talking about, man.
I'm saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Hey, I already spent all the rest I got. I don't got no more.
You'll be that one captain that shows up like, yeah, man, they all didn't get on the lifeboat. So in your mind, it's captain first, then women and kids.
I ain't saying all that, but I would have me a little blow-up boat. A little small.
Your own personal blow-up boat.
Yep. The one I use for the sail team, just pop that thing open with a little jet back there, a little engine. That's all. So, man, any last words?
About covers it.
Yeah, that is true.
I'll say this last words. I would say we have an obligation, responsibility to look out for the future generation of us. So work on something, start putting a plan together and work towards that.
All right, now like and subscribe and follow us next time. We'll talk to you later. Peace.